We're about to interview Jimmy Anzalone, who lives in Howard Beach, and he had an incident there at the house, and he would like to share that with us. Jimmy?
I am Jimmy Anzalone, and I got a call. She at Transit Authority, Jamaica Pond. I got a call from my son around 9 o'clock at night saying, Dad, somebody's in the basement saying, help me, I'm gonna die. He ran out into the street where the water was like 3 feet high in Howard Beach in the street. Right. He got the next door neighbors to come and help him. There was a man trapped in our basement where the water was so high against the door and the pressure was so strong that he couldn't get out. He was trapped. So he was screaming for his life. So they initially went around the back end where the entrance is. The water was above the doorway, couldn't get out that way, they couldn't break in that way. So they had to literally chop through my bedroom floor in the dark, I might add, with no power because the power was out. They had to chop through the floor.
Was this man a big man?
He was a 300-pound man. He worked at Lenny's Pizzeria. He ate a lot of pizzas at the time and a lot of calzones.
Okay.
So he was a big man. He was on top, downstairs in his basement on his kitchen counter, waddling through the water, trying to breathe through the hole that they created in my floor above in the bathroom. When they finally got a hole big enough for his head to fit through, they gave him a hose, but he was moving like this and moving and moving. They accidentally hit him in the head with the hammer, and the blood gushed out of his head towards the toilet bowl all over everybody. Then when they finally got the thing, they had to separate the wood with their jacks from the car. That's how hard the wood was.
Who was involved in this rescue? Was it neighbors? Was it firemen?
It was neighbors. Neighbors and my son. My son initially heard the screams for help, ran outside to get help, and they all came in and helped. They made the papers, Queens Chronicle and the Forum.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So, it said Howard Beach Heroes.
Okay.
So, where was I? Okay. So now they used car jacks to separate the wood. They used a hacksaw, hammers, bang, bang, bang. They finally built the hole big enough, but with the wood sharp wood shears and the metal mesh from the tiles.
Right.
It was very sharp. They ripped the guy up out of the floor, and they ripped him a new skin like Jesus when they beat Jesus. He was ripped up and bleeding all over. It took 4 hours. 4 hours for them to get him out of the house, for the National Guard to come to my house where the water had subsided enough for the National Guard to come to rescue the guy. In the 4 hours, he was hypothermic, so they took all my comforters off the beds. They covered him. They also had him laid on my son's bed, which he bled all over for 4 hours. The guy was bleeding like a stuck pig, screaming, I'm gonna die. For 2 hours after they saved him, he thought he's still gonna die. He was that emotionally wrecked.
Right.
Finally, he calmed down. My son said, you're not gonna die, calm down. And my son still hears the guy screaming in his room. Now, I'm trying to build the house back together, me and the landlord and the friends, and everybody's pitching in, trying to recover from the hurricane.
Did the landlord still want the full rent?
He did ask me for the rent a week and a half after the storm, when there was still no power, no heat, and no hot water, and the house smelled like a swamp, like the bayou. I looked at him like he had 4 heads, and I said, what do you mean rent? What rent?
Okay. All right, Jimmy Anzalone, we appreciate you sharing that story with us. Thank God everyone is safe. And is this guy back to work at Lenny's Clam Bar?
He hasn't gone back to work as of yet. He was very traumatized, and he's not coming back to the apartment because he doesn't want to get stuck in the basement again and drown next time. I can't blame the guy anyway, you know.
So he has not been back to the apartment?
He's been back once since when he came out of the hospital, and he grabbed my son like this,
Right.
And he hugged my son.
Right.
And he wouldn't let him go. He was crying. We took pictures. And, you know, it was a very emotional scene. A very emotional scene.
Right.
You know.
Okay.
You know.
Well,
And,
thanks for sharing that with us, Jimmy.
Yeah, thank you.
And we
It's okay,
appreciate it.
it's okay.
Like I said, Jimmy Anzalone from Howard Beach. This concludes our interview. Thank you.
Nice. All right.